Thanks a lot for staying tuned. If you just joined us. This is TMI. We'll demonstrate to what Edo started anticipating, talking about the election, governorship election, Edo 2024, adherence to INEC rules and regulations concerning campaigns. Yes, it involves the social media, involves the print media, involves the electronic media, even involves those responsible for the billboards and all of that. For what we are saying right now in Edo State, are the parties really sticking to these guidelines? Are they all, both candidates, political parties, all involved in the system, are they sticking to campaign guidelines as stipulated by INEC? This is what we are here to talk about. All the way from US, I'd like to welcome Honorable Ehi Igareba. Honorable, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition. It's so good for you to join us all the way from the US. All right, so we're trying to establish contact. If it's there, definitely it's going to respond. Okay, Honorable Ehi, thanks a lot for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Now with me here in the studio, I have a one-time local government chairman of your Northeast, right? Yes, Uhunwode, right, isn't it? Uhunwode. I keep confusing of your Northeast. Uhunwode local government, the former local government chairman, Uhunwode local government. Join me to welcome Honorable Napoleon Agbama. Welcome to TMI.
Good morning.
I appreciate your coming.
Good morning. We sing good morning to you.
All right. You get to hear put food on the table. You will not hear or see any of these things happening. Okoro Osahon Obaraye, a comrade, welcome to TMI. I appreciate your coming.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Okay.
Good morning, viewers.
Of course, I have a very vibrant youth political analyst. Join me to welcome Solomon Omoegbe. You're here, right?
Yes.
I got the name correct.
Oriye.
Oriye. I like the name Oriye.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, viewers.
All right. So let's put the ball in the field and let's start playing. Let me start off with you, Solomon. There's a reason for that. If you take a look at what is happening right now, INEC sounded a note of warning to political parties involved in their done, of course, Ondo State about their rules governing campaigns. Electronic media, print media, social media, to the billboard, you just name it. From what they are perceiving, it's like the rules have been broken so many times by all involved. What do you have to say about this?
Well, good morning, viewers, once again. INEC released the guideline for campaigns 2 days ago because it got to their notice that people are destroying political parties' billboard. According to the INEC guidelines, section 95, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act 2022 prohibits the use of state apparatus to oppress opposition party. So they have enumerated their guidelines, they have elucidated on it so that people will be well abreast about their guidelines, so that the political parties will not fall a prey to their guidelines and principles of conduct.
So they'll be abreast, they'll follow it up. All right, I'll come back to you, Solomon. Well, Honorable, this is not the first time you've been involved in politics. You've been there for quite a long time. You are still very much relevant and you are still there. But taking a look at what we're playing right now in Edo State, are these parties, none excluded, following the guidelines of INEC in terms of campaign?
Thank you very much, Wisi. Like my colleagues just said, the INEC has come out with guidelines for Edo 2024. And I think the guideline is usually like that in every election, whether it's a general election or of a time election like this. But my only worry or question is that after coming out or rolling out your guideline, how serious are you to really follow or monitor that every party adhere to that, strictly to that your guideline? That is where the INEC is getting it wrong. So they have to come out and really see what is happening. The supervision, the monitoring are not there. They just come out, they just say this is their guideline and that is the end. If they have been coming out to yearly monitor and supervise and see what is happening and sanction those who are not complying with their rule and regulations, I think for now, by now, everybody will have been very used to the system, and that thuggery or whatever, or that disturbing or opponent will not be there. So I urge the INEC not only just rolling out their guideline, they should come out, monitor and discipline those parties that are not adhering to their guidelines.
Okay. Okoro Samabaraye, aka put food on the table, will not see or hear what this disturbance is going on. Now, you've been there, according to you, since 1999, from youth leaders and all that. You've heard the submission of both of them, still bordering on the guidelines. We'll start picking up some of the factors they stated in that particular guideline. How come it's so difficult sometimes for political parties to adhere to these guidelines?
Thank you so much, Wilson. I think I want to tell the way of my leader here. The truth must be told. INEC can be best defined as a toothless bulldog.
Toothless bulldog?
Yeah, the reason is because if INEC was truly independent, I'm not sure the corruption in election would be where it is today. You cannot take INEC away from electoral malpractices. INEC truly is not independent.
No, you cannot accuse them of electoral malpractice for crying out loud. They are the umpire.
I'm not asking you, I'm telling you.
Even if you are saying it, you don't have proof of that.
Yeah, there's no way I can come to ITV without an invitation. So there's no way you can rig election without INEC not standing by you. What are you rigging? Are you getting it? That the truth must be told. So,
but I say it's not true.
Yeah, INEC has a very good plan, master plan, a robust one, and most times giving all the resources, the support, security-wise, to carry it out. But when it comes to exercising that franchise, when it comes to taking it to the latter, you see them blabbering, not really taking it serious. Because if truly what they've said now, that state in power, government in power should not do this, should not do that. That's a government in power you are speaking. Are the one that pays INEC. Are you getting it now? So who are they shouting to? Who are they telling? So it goes back to tell that INEC is just dictating for people to say, okay, INEC is just also like National Population Commission. They are not. They are very unserious set of people. Because
you cannot say they are unserious. They are serious about this.
I'm not telling you about individuality. I'm talking about what they are saying. If they follow in tandem, in latter, black and white, what they see, we will not suffer this election. There will be no need for us to go to court after election. If I actually do their work well, very well, even with sensitization, you will go to INEC office tomorrow now to go and collect your PVC or something. The stress of first of INEC will take you through, excepting you are a very, very hard-hearted Nigerian. You might be, let me just go back because it's not worth it. You also say, okay, come, let's do this thing. INEC will complain, there's no fuel in generator. The politicians around there will gather money for INEC to get fuel, not their generator, a politician's generator to help support INEC. INEC will come there in the morning to carry vital materials down to somewhere like Wunde where park comes from. Without a vehicle, politicians will gather now to say, INEC, come and stay in my vehicle for me to take you to the place where election is going to take place. The same place going to the creeks. There's no speedboat for INEC to take electoral material from one place to the second place. Politicians will sit down, the one with the money bags, to say, okay, let me sponsor this one. So if by the way doing all this, is there already not somebody telling you that something is here? Say my neck, sometimes after with the hard work workers working for them, you see them protesting that they've not paid them. And on that same day, politicians also come when sharing money to say, this one is for INEC. which they don't reject. So is it the INEC now that is like a baby to these politicians vis-a-vis what I've deposited here, that want to now dictate for those people, giving them benefit to say this is how you're going to run the election? So until INEC becomes very, very independent, there is no need for them to start giving us commandments, because even then we are the ones telling them what to do. I get it now. If on the day of election, all those sensitive materials will be taken from point 1 to Agbado at Apapava. When you get there, INEC will distribute to say this one is going to Ward 7. You see adult staff holding their materials and standing. Then the next will ask, how long I want to go? They will ask you, we don't even know where they go.
I'll come back to you.
We will not come to say, okay, they can bring your bus, let's carry. We will not put them in our own vehicle. Bus we rented. Then we will now, everybody will now move straight to the center. On getting there, we are the ones to also not give them chair. We are the ones to not prepare a comfortable place for them.
By doing so, they already have.
Then by the time around 12:1, you hear them telling you they have not eaten, that they are famished, that they are tired. You say, okay, don't worry, madam, bring their go, bring moat for the INEC official. And when they are going again, with now they've called results, you take them back, they are not checking, back to your vehicle, to the place where they want to go and now collate results. So if you are now going and you see that you that took them in the morning to that point A, you did not win that election, you might decide in the evening not to take them back.
We'll come back to you, but just hold on. We'll come back to you. Now let's hear what Hiegareva have to say about this, adhering to INEC's guidelines. We've heard three of them. They've spoken on just the introductory part of this discourse, talking about political parties, candidates, electorates adhering to INEC guidelines for campaigns. Take it up from there, Honorable.
On the INEC National Commissioner for Information, I think Mr. Samuel Olumekun spoke on Thursday about the beautiful guidelines that they rolled out. Unfortunately, as beautiful as the guidelines were, I very much doubt if INEC have the capacity or the political will, to implement these guidelines, because those who are involved in the flouting of these guidelines are sometimes, if not most times, very tricky for INEC to rail in. For instance, INEC had talked about the release, by the incumbent government, whatever that means. They just said, vaguely, the incumbent government of public spaces, such as the stadium, open spaces, state-owned broadcasting services, that the opposition party must have access to these facilities, and they should not be charged exorbitantly, for their advertisements, especially billboards, and their billboards must not be brought down. They were trying to establish that fairness should prevail. Unfortunately, like I said before, I don't know from antecedents, since 1999, the release of these guidelines have become somehow like a ceremony that must be accomplished before elections have heard. But if INEC has been able to implement or even punish anyone who has flouted this guideline remains to be seen. I've never heard of them taking any political party or any government to court, or sanctioning anyone for flouting them. And what is the essence? What is the importance of having a guideline that cannot be implemented, or that anyone cannot be punished for if they do flout? So it's behoves on INEC now to come out and also tell us what are the punishments for flouting these guidelines. I think that will create seriousness on the part of INEC, and that will also cause political actors to take their guidelines a little bit more seriously. Thank you.
All right, I will come back to you, Honorable. Well, you've heard him talking about INEC having the capacities, like what Obaraye said. He talked about politicians aiding INEC ad hoc staff, aiding a staff of INEC also to convey materials, even to give them food, help them logistically, fuel, gen, just to make sure that they carry out their job. Now, Honorable raised the point, do they have the capacity? Before talking about incumbency and the rest of them, Obaraye said they don't have the capacity, hence he's even doubting the capability of INEC to follow through with these particular guidelines? Over now to you, Solomon. Is there the capacity that is deficient in INEC, making it possible for them to at least make these politicians, political parties, candidates to follow these rules, or they are just at the mercy of the politicians?
To start with, the word independent. How true is that word independent? Are they actually independent or they are dependent? That is the question we should be asking. Because if, as an institution, INEC is independent, then they should be able to carry out their function exclusively without any form of interference. So you see tomorrow, they will tell you, we want to do this. Maybe there is a function they want to execute. They will tell you, we have not been mobilized, we have not been funded. So they are waiting for the government of the day to fund them before executing that function. So by so doing, you already see there is a connection. Because the person that even appoints the leader of the INEC is the government of the day. So if I, as an individual, someone said, go and head this institution, that is automatically my box. So that word INEC, as it is, I don't see the word independent in it.
So you're doubting their independence? Is that what you're talking about right now?
They are independent, first of all, should be questioned. How truly is they are independent? Because just the way my comrade said, whenever there is an election, you find out that one particular politician will help convey the INEC sensitive materials to the rack centers. By so doing, the INEC is already having a soft spot for those particular politicians. And those INEC will definitely play the role of those politicians, because if you are taking someone to a particular location, there is already a connectivity right there in that vehicle. So INEC should be seen as an independent body, independent institution that is actually responsible for conducting an election, not playing the roles of one particular party at the federal or at the state government level. So they should be seen as an independent institution.
So you're saying they should provide their own vehicle, provide their own gen, provide their own fuel, provide their own lunch or breakfast or dinner.
Exactly.
Can they really do this?
They should be funded.
They be funded. Okay,
Yes.
I'll come back to you. Now, what Honorable talking about the power of incumbency, they mentioned that 2 or a day ago, that it will observe that incumbent governors or president always have a way to manipulate the system to favor or suit their own candidate, that all this must stop. Take it up from there, knowing fully well we have 2 powers right now, whether they want to admit it or not, the federal and of course the state fighting for the soul of Edo State. Take it up from there, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Wilson. In every organization or government or whatever, what we be happy to see is improvement. There is no perfection, even in humanity. Talk less of an organization. But if there is an improvement from the previous elections, one can give the INEC a credit. But unfortunately, what we have been seeing for years is that there is no improvement in the area the both of them have talked about. For instance, in an election day or a day to election, material is to move from the headquarters of every state to every local government INEC headquarters. And such transportation or whatever is supposed to be done solely by INEC without looking for help from any political parties or individuals. And in that night, the materials are expected to move to various rack centers that will make it very easy for them to move from ward to ward and unit to unit in the distribution the days of election. In doing that, INEC is supposed to have already a manpower way of distributing this thing from the local government to various rack centers, and from rack center to every unit. And every local government have its own way of, by way of terrain, difficulties in movement or whatever. And this has been there. By now, INEC is supposed to know how they can move materials from Benin City to rural areas and to riverine areas. Like he mentioned, you know that there's going to be election. Even if you cannot buy a boat, you must hire. 3 will be enough, you must have 3. And that 3 will be for the INEC to go there and not for any other persons. And when this has been done, and that is where they will be truly independent. A situation where you now say our material, they are stock. The INEC staff are there, nobody to take them to rack center, nobody to take them to the unit. Even after the election, nobody to take them out of the unit. Like he rightly said, if probably party A assisted in the morning to take you to the rack center, probably to every unit, and that party A now failed at the end of the calling result, they will not come back to pick you. Therefore, you have to be stranded. If there is arrangement by INEC, that will not happen. The vehicle that took them there will still come because it's arranged by INEC, take them to the collecting center. It will be easy. It will be very seamless, very independent. So those are areas where INEC is failing. And I do know that there are provisions for it. For instance, in the last presidential election in my local government, yeah, I saw the then EO performing wonderfully because this arrangement were made done by him. Even to generator, they are going to use in rack centers, they are going to use in collecting center in every ward and down to the local government, was provided by INEC. And if they improve on that by way of transportation and every other thing, I think fully they will be independent. As it is now where people will be complaining that material has not got here because of lack of transportation by INEC or there is nobody to assist and politicians have to assist, that fault is theirs. And that is where we are now saying, let them correct it before the election. Thank God it's off election, general election. Only Edo State will be conducting election in the Federation by 21st September. If they don't have this material available here in Edo State, they can go to a neighboring state to borrow. Where to make sure that every arrangement is done by INEC. Even humanly, the transportation, boat or whatever, the debtors are not doing their election, and rivers are not doing, debtors are not doing, buyers are not doing. Those are areas mostly they use boats. So there is availability of this boat. They cannot tell us that a politician will be the person to hire or to give them assistance by way of transportation and any other for transportation of materials. All
right. Now back to the question, the fact of incumbency. He mentioned that. It was like, don't use your power because you are in power to oppress opposition parties. That is like a warning. Do you see it happening in this election, knowing fully well that both powers, they have interest in this state? Obarai.
Yeah, thank you so much, Wilson. I think that your question would have been well answered if we were in a very sane society, society where things work well. In our place called Nigeria, the power incumbency is not what you can wish away. I get it now. You cannot wish that away. You will see it coming from next month, 2 months coming, both from Party A in Abuja and Party B in Benin. It's not what you can shy away from. I think you can also see that during the week, our friends that they destroyed their property at Obagi, they are calling them now to come get their CFO back. So if you know that that place was extremely what would be solvable in just the very just now, why pull those buildings down? Again, and that goes to tell you what powerful incumbency can cause. Again, so both from the INEC and the other one, it's just, but you cannot also shy away that on election day, the security system in Nigeria, you know that we know. We just play a human role to say nothing is happening. It's not. It's that if we were talking about UK, if we were talking about America, things like that, but we're talking about Nigeria, where the person paying you determines when to pay you, how to pay you, where to pay you. So if the person is also telling you this is what he or she wants, we don't have that will-minded Nigerians go to the military INEC that can take the bold step to say, no, I must do things right. We don't have those ones. even if we have them, maybe not up to 1% or 2% in that sphere. So my heart bleeds for us to stand up here to speak, to say power of incumbency will not show itself. It's impossible. I get it now. You can also tell me now, within Benin, you can see that the power of incumbency is also showing some ways. Vis-a-vis virtually all the boards in strategic places are for the party in power. The reason is because the people with those big boards pay their revenue to the government of the place. So it's not left for the government to tell you, that big board you put at so place, we are going to use it for the next 6 months. If you say, okay, somebody has paid for it, we want to use it. If you don't want it, the other ministry go and pull that big board down because it's blocking or causing obstruction. So it becomes power past power. I get it now. I think you were also in Benin when the power of incumbency played a very vital role, that some individuals should not come to Benin. If you come, whatever you see, you bear it. And when the other person took the risk of coming to Benin, I'm aware you are aware how our youth messed up themselves within the airport arena. That goes to show power of incumbency. But our greatest pain is that things are not supposed to be like this. It's so painful. What we are feeling and seeing is painful, because you see power, life after government. Our leaders don't have it. I think I'll be privileged to know my leader here for as long as I've been in politics. He's one of the very few local government chairman that have been there twice or 3 times. Twice, because of his genuineness and open way. And I'm not sure all the time he was there, I saw him with an orderly, which he was supposed to be doing. Or I saw him wearing a bada, that was not his size, just to show his office. I get it now. Because these are people that see beyond offices. But we no longer have those type of people. Now, people we have here now are people that will tell you the plane I was supposed to use to travel didn't start well. So for that reason, I want to buy on that plane tomorrow. I get it now. Right. Then what you also hear is that since they don't want it to go this way in Edo, we must let them know that we are the owner of Edo. I'm not knowing that by the time government in power starts shouting, it's the commoners that suffer the most. Things that are supposed to be done well will not be done well. Okay. They will not tell you the road, the road leading to Wilson's house, just because Wilson is not in our party, and it was being constructed. Government can come and scratch the quota and tell you we are supposed to do it 5 mm. We are going to spoil it. We are doing it.
I'll come back to you, but hold on.
It was done in Ugbo. I get it now.
Okay.
Where a road that was started already was untarred just to show power of incumbency. Okay. I get it now. So all right. It's a painful scenario.
Well, Honorable Mama, I know you want to, but hold on. Let's get straight down to the US. Just take note of the point is given. Let's join Honorable Ehi Egareva all the way from the US. So, Honorable, we are now zooming it on power of incumbency as it stands right now. According to reports, we have 2 powers majorly fighting over the soul of Edo State. Now, with this guideline given by INEC, do you see these 2 powers shooting their sword, allowing all political parties to have a fair share in terms of campaign? We have the state might, and of course, we have the federal might. Zooming in on this rule about power of incumbency, do you see it happening that all political parties will have a free day whenever they want to campaign or have their rally in various spots in Edo State?
Well, like my brother Osahon Aburai have said, the power of incumbency, especially at the state level, is going to play a very critical part in this next governorship election. Why am I saying this? There has been excessive use of this power of incumbency, for a while now, and I expect that to be more pronounced in the days to come. INEC has gone ahead to issue its own guidelines, but what remains to be seen is if these guidelines will be followed through. Don't forget, we have a situation in Nigeria where the governor, of the ruling party in any state is also the leader of the party in the state. And you take it a step further, these same governors enjoy immunity from prosecution, which is to say, even if they were to flout INEC rules or flout, INEC laws, they cannot be prosecuted. So if they cannot be prosecuted, then they can go ahead and flout them. Because the reason why many people don't commit crime or breach, laws is because of the consequence of persecution, awaiting them, whenever they do this. But INEC cannot prosecute sitting states governors. Therefore, they can do what, okay, for instance, I'll take this. They said, oh, allow people to use public spaces, such as stadiums and open spaces. What if the governor said, okay, that unfortunately, the day that you want to hold your rally, we already have plans to renovate or fumigate that public area for that day. Therefore, we are unable to grant you that facility. What would INEC do? There are always ways to bypass all of these, and except the governor, the incumbent governor, just have the fear of God. And too bad we don't have a lot of governors across Nigeria who have the fear of God. And why is this? There's a new system in Nigeria, which is a piggybacking. Every governor wants to piggyback a candidate after them into political office for whatever reasons. I would have thought by now, they would have gotten wiser to open up the space and not have a preferred candidate. Because look at what's going on in the Rivers. Look at since the days of Ngige in the hands of the Umba brothers in Anambra, every candidate that has been piggybacked into office for governorship turns the enemy of the person who supported them into office. So you wonder why wisdom will depart from people to still go ahead to back a specific candidate, knowing what awaits you. Governors are like mini kings in the Nigerian political space with enormous power. And you can never really determine the loyalty of any man until you expose them to power and money. And both of these are excessive to governors in Nigeria. Once they get money, from the allocation, their monies that are being paid to them, once they begin to enjoy the perks of office, and you are out and you no longer have that influence, they're going to turn on you. They are going to turn on you. So do not piggyback anybody and want to forcibly, shove them down the people's throat that, oh, this is the person that must succeed me. Open up the political space and let there be free and fair conduct of these elections. But to say that there will not be use of the federal might or state, the federal, so far I see President Tinubu has been, neutral in electoral cases since he became president in the country. And I expect that he's also going to be neutral in the Edo elections. But for the state governor, my friend mentioned about people who have had their houses demolished, and all of a sudden, let me even correct that. They are not being given C of O's. They've just been told that in the new city that is being earmarked, being planned for whatever year, no contract awarded for the building of that a new city. The tenure of the governor runs out in about 4 months. Therefore, nothing can be done, that they will be given the right of first refusal. However, those who are making these promises that I saw on air, they are leaving office in 4 months. They are leaving office in 4 months.
All right, I'll
Thank
come
you.
back to you because that was the issue we're discussing right now, Honorable. It's not the issue we're discussing right now. Let's focus on this issue. I'll come back to you. I'll definitely come back to you. Okay, well, now you heard him. He talked about power of incumbency, like what Obara rightly said. And he said they have ways of dodging or maneuvering their way without breaking the rules of INEC, but they still have the same impact. For instance, maybe a political party wants to use a stadium for their campaign or rally. The moment they'll be like, look, we want to do something on that same day or want to renovate or paint or all that. Do you think it is going to happen in coming months? He said, watch out for coming months. You're going to feel the impact of the government of the day.
You cannot take that. Thank you very much, Wilson. You cannot take power of incumbency out of the picture. Look at what happened during the presidential election when one of the candidates visited. The state government said they cannot use the stadium from the ministry. They said they cannot use the stadium. So the stadium was not allowed. They didn't use the stadium. That's power of incumbency. And INEC has released their guideline that these public spaces should be used by other opposition party. So another question is INEC actually monitoring these guidelines to ensure that this power of incumbency does not subdue the opposition party? So that is a very big question we should be asking, because the power of incumbency is already there. It must happen. But however, the people are more. The people will resist any form of power of incumbency towards the election to ensure that the people are brought back to the picture.
So Solomon, you're saying that the people right now are stronger than any power of incumbency of any government. Is that what you're saying right now?
Of course. Because it is the people that really matter. It is the people who elected the power of incumbency. Let me use that word.
Yeah.
It is the people who elected the leader. So it is the people who will still say no. We know they agree. So it is the people that will go against that power of incumbency to stop any form of manipulation from the power of incumbency. The people will definitely resist them.
All right. Now, Honorable Napoleon, he's saying that the people will resist it. Doesn't that mean that the people are the one to enforce INEC's rule?
Thank you very much, Wixie. That is why in my earlier speech I said, I give you an instances where INEC is not fully independent. They have rolled out a guideline for election. They have said that no destruction of billboards, campaign position or whatever, whether you want to use a stadium or wherever you want to use, notify the INEC, notify the security agents or whatever, and you carry on your campaign. Is there any way they monitor if these things are really done like that? That is one of the problems. You see, the problem is, the fault is actually from our constitution. I think that is why so many people are yearning for review of the present constitution. Because the present constitution were mainly put down by the military, who at that time were not politicians. We are not too knowledgeable about democracy. That is why there must be a way to make sure that the constitution is again looked at and amend so many areas. That the power given to INEC must not just be a power that any whether president or governor can just go into and tamper with. Because if you go to America, if I'm a candidate, I must be monitored to know how much I have, whether donation from people or whatever. That it must not exist, the laid down rule by the INEC. If it is more than that, you'll be questioned, how do you have that money? But here, those things are not there. People use, that is why you see that today, going to vote, people will just say, it's a way of making money. 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. Before you can even vote. And as at that time, you are voting against the will, your own personal will, because you are now voting in line with the money given to you. So there are so many things that are wrong that INEC supposed to correct that they are not doing, because I look at it is because they are not fully independent. And that is why it must be enshrined into the constitution. All those power that will be given to, even the appointment of staff of the INEC, so that the appointment can fully be independent too, and not just the one that any politician or any governor or sitting person can just appoint people into. There must be a laid down rule. Either they are going to be screened by the National Assembly, who will, they screen ministers and whatever, for whoever to be there, whether from the EO down upwards. So it's not, it will not be, that settlement will not be there. And that is the only way we can get it right. Because otherwise, all what we have been saying, the incumbency will always definitely determine whether they will give you a space to campaign or whatever. There was a time in the state we were campaigning, whether primary school or secondary school, where you have space. But it was banned because they now see that they will not give it to opposition. It was stopped. That no party will campaign in any premises that is owned by government, whether health center, whether primary school, whether secondary school. So you now see that definitely, I think from those of us that are from the rural area, it's already used to us, because we can now campaign in a space either in by one of the members' compound or whatever to campaign, or the Odion compound to campaign. And I believe rural areas will not have so much of those problems than, yes, the state. And if it is really enshrined in the constitution of the INEC that every state has a stadium, that stadium must be available for any party to campaign. It is not left for you now to give the date. If it is conflicting with any other date, INEC will have to regulate it to make sure that everybody have his way of campaigning in the stadium. Without that, we will still be talking the way we are talking now until that regulation is done through constitution in Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Desmond Agbama. Now let's take a look at what they talked about government-owned media outfits. They said, even if anyone from the opposition comes with a jingle, the advert, you should accept it and don't push the price so high so they'll be able to accept. Do you see this happening in government-owned media houses, Obarai?
Yeah, as you guys were talking, I took time to be watching the background of and saw cars rolling, and I saw Oshomole buses. I get it now.
Yeah, at the background, yeah.
At the background, and I saw the inscription on it. They go do them again. They go do like that, different. And I also noticed that even when I was driving down, 80% of the buses I saw for Shomole was already, I get it now, and
branded.
And I'm sure that Oshomole's bus is not a private owned.
No, right now, please, let's correct it. It's intra-city buses owned by the government.
Or
Edo State brand,
so
whatever, yeah.
If I speak that,
yes,
the layman
we don't understand.
Yeah, but majority
yes,
will not understand. Billy will not understand.
Yeah.
I get it now. So there are words you use to send it to
the
them.
message.
So with that one, first of all, standing there, it goes to tell you powerful Incumbency. They won't even pay for that. People will even happily just brand it for them. Even the Ministry of Transport can do that to say this is our own token to support this government. That is one. Then I pity the person, the journalist, the newscaster that will play that jingle on government-owned institution. I'm not saying you cannot submit, but I say I pity the program because the government might make sure that program becomes something of the past. We don't have government that accepts opposition. They don't like it. So in any form, they want to grind it. So even taking it to their doorstep is killing. You saw the video of a billboard of one of the candidates that was brought down. And you saw a video after about 48 hours that came out and said, the governor passes through here every time. Why would you come and put your people here? He didn't say people, he said the governor passes through here every time. Go to stadium, see people here. That's disrespect.
But don't forget that the governor also, his own candidate, so to speak, right now of his party, the people that has been demolished also. Various points in Benin citizens like.
We are coming there.
Yes.
I will give you what is happening. We live in the street. That's what we live. Are you getting down? I'm not sure the time I spend in my bed is minute of the time I spend with people on the street. So billboard issue is the number one game, is the Korean Maggi of what you do. The people that do that, their money is cigar money and pure water money. You give them to say, you see the one they don't here, so they don't put one knife if they go Orada for that junction. So this one at 50,000 or 8,000. Take back. Once you reach there, do one. That is their job. This one I'm telling you might also come from government. It might not say, okay, you see, say the tier one for Benin, go tear their own. So that is why you don't start it, because when you start it, you don't know where it's going to end up. What we are so joking now, we pray does not so little physical engagement. Again, we are praying because the youth does not even help issues too. on this type of issues. I'm not sure a party's age can climb now to start tearing those things down.
Yeah.
And me too, I know how much it takes to install one. So when you are tearing, it's going to, but the people that are going to tear don't even know what they are doing. I get it now. I don't even know that that is not the way to go, and even that will not determine whoever wins the election. Only that billboard, or not using government machineries. Right. It cannot also determine. And what you are now also doing, so give sympathy. Because people will not say, they oppress them, you know, say, if they oppress them, you start pitying that people. So we cannot take it. There is no way. Let me mention name. EBS will play jingle of an opposition party.
You are not in EBS. Look, I'm so careful about mentioning names. You can use the word. Don't use government media. Better,
government
please.
Does not have two. It's one.
Don't use government media, please. So please, you apologize right to EBS because you were not there. You have to apologize to them right now before we continue the discussion.
Okay, sir, I've apologized.
Please, let's continue.
Yeah, but listen, my greatest joy is that you know the truth, and that is why. Some of us that said don't really read the Bible, there's one particular verse we had to forget. Say, for ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Okay. So when you say it, you are already free. You know and I know. Because there's no way you can bite more than you can chew. So you already know that even if the man does not tell you, the man and this man, they are fighting for the same thing. And one of those person pays you. And the other one comes to say, this is my jingle, play it. So it's like you are taking something to insult your paymaster. So the ones that are also going to suffer are people that are the grassroots. So it goes back to the drawing board that it is high time our people see above these gimmicks by our politicians.
All right.
They are supposed to see above it to say this does not work. I am aware that we in this town, I have people that we didn't even see their soundboard outside. Today they are in it. Today they are House of Representatives. There was no big board at Ringwood for them. There was no big board at Ted Junction. There was no jingle on ITV. You didn't see it. In the cyberspace, no poster. It didn't happen in America. I'm telling you, in Benin, in Nigeria, yeah.
All right.
No billboard, nothing. So they didn't even have the money for the one for you to tear. Are you getting that?
And they won.
There was no branded vehicle.
All right, let's get back to the US.
It was only him and one boy with laptop that was moving around. And today, it's a senator. So we should all, our youth are supposed to see that, to say, if the person can win like this, why are you tearing it?
All right, now let's take a look at what is really playing out itself. He mentioned the media house, though he apologized for that, but he gives the media house accepting some, political parties not of the same party, even their media houses playing their jingle. So what did you say about that?
Thank you, Wilson.
Yes.
He has enumerated it. He has explained it robustically. But the truth is this. You cannot bite the hand that is feeding you. The state media, they are not allowing the opposition party to play their jingles. Have you, between me and you that is sitting here, have you heard any jingle from opposition party in the state media? Answer, no. So they are not allowing it. And that is one of the guidelines INEC has released, that the incumbent should allow opposition party to use the state's media and campaigns.
Continue, just continue the point you're making. Yeah, go ahead with the point you're making.
Yes, that is what they are saying, that at the moment, the incumbent is not allowing opposition party to make use of the state media. Because for me, I have not heard one single jingle from the state media.
You've not heard at all? Not even one?
I have not heard. I have not heard.
Wow.
I have not. So they are not allowing it. It talks about the billboard. You saw what happened to the billboard, one of the candidates. So is that something is that something the government of the day should be engaging in? That's not something the government of the day should be engaging in.
Okay, now let's just move on with it. Now, Honorable, it's like what Obara said, tit for tat.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
You see, like I spoke just now, that until everything is constitutionally binding. That problem is continuing to be there. This, the one you just talk about, whether state-owned media or federal-owned media or whatever, even some private media houses that are owned by no politicians do not take that of opposition. Talk less of the state. So what are we talking about? There is no need this. Even if they have to take, like when you listen to ITV, you see party A, party
jingles,
B,
yes.
whatever, taking all the. You will only hear once or twice in a day, and things that you pay for that is supposed to be a continuous every hour or every 10 minutes or 30 minutes, like some of them are doing ITV. But you just hear it just one, just to say that even if you take me to court that you are paid, I will say I just once.
No, but the thing is that if you talk about the private media organization, definitely they are trying that aspect.
Yeah, the private media are trying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That
because ITV is not selective.
Even if the states,
yes.
accept your own at all, if you want them to run it probably 10 times a day, they will manage to run it 2 times. Just if you, for the sake of, if you go to court to say you are paid and they are not doing, they will say they did it. You understand? Not to talk of a situation that we are now, they are not even taking it. Because you go there, you even want to pay for it, they will tell you that the manager is not around, this one is not around. They cannot just tell you that they don't want to take it, but they have the way of making sure that
okay, I'll come back to you because we're about to commence our descent on this particular discussion. Now let's get back again to the US where Honorable Ehie is standing by. Now, how do we get out of this? Because some of them here in the studio, all of them in the studio are saying that for state-owned media houses, you hardly hear opposition jingle in whether TV or radio owned by state media houses. How can this be remedied?
Well, I think there is just no way for INEC to punish, or sanction erring parties for the time being. I think the various political parties have got to find a way around it themselves. One of the ways to go about it is very simple, is to get campaign vans with speakers and go to places, public places, and speak to the people with recorded messages. On the one hand, they can have mobile TVs moving around the city to play their messages, and the towns and villages. Again, most of the political parties are very deficient in the use of technology. They do not even have a proper social media handle, where they can actually get their messages out. And they only wait for election period to start getting social media influencers to help them. They are supposed to have well-developed social media handles that they are able to gather a large followership prior to the elections. This can help them to get their messages out there. So they are still relying on the obsolete methods of a lot of posters. I don't know how much campaigns that posters and billboards do compared to sending messages to people's phones and getting on social media, taking into cognizance that majority of the voters are youths, and today they want information on the go. They are not looking at billboards, they are looking at what comes through their phones via their social media spaces. That is what is influencing their political decisions. So political parties have got to work very seriously on that and bypass the use of government places and campaigns. Okay, let's say, for instance, what are campaigns for? What are campaigns for? Most political parties end up campaigning to their own members, only the part that are aired on TV, that's where you get a message. Because if they were to have a campaign, for instance, at Ring Road, you are going to inform your political party members in that locality to mobilize your political party members to the venue, and you speak to just your members. It's very rare that members of the general public or undecided voters go to political party rally venues. It's very rare. It's usually political party leadership speaking back to their members. So they've got to learn of other ways and strategy to engage the public more than just rallies and billboards. Yes, the state governor or government ought to be playing fair and opening up the space if they really do wish for the best man or woman to emerge for the job. But unfortunately, they want to piggyback somebody into a government house and hope to dictate to the person, which has proven to be a failed strategy, over time. But yet, they are not desisting from it. So for me, I think the political parties ought to find their own strategies to bypass this recalcitrance on the part of the government, for not allowing them to use their space.
All right, thank you, Honorable. Thank you so much. We want to, comments how decent right now your conclusion on this matter, because I have a second talk about River State and all that. Is social media now the solution to all these problems, so to speak, knowing fully well that what you guys talked about, that power of incumbency may not play fair in terms of campaigns and all that? About you 1 minute to summarize.
Thank you so much. You've asked the question, you've answered it. Social media cannot solve the issue of Nigeria type of politics. It can solve that of America and UK. Exactly. But when it comes to Nigeria issue, the number of people that are not on social media in voting are far more than the number of people on social media. Taking cognizance to places like my mom's village, Orada. I get it now. Yeah. Let's go to Igwoke or ZA.
Network is not even.
I get it now. If I'm there, I cannot go to internet. The only thing that can go there is just to make a call. I get it. So if the people there, plus or minus, are serious about election, on election day, they don't go to farm. You see them, they are serious about it. Not like we here that take sometimes to say, play football, do this. They are more serious about it. So how are you going to tell them what we see on Master said on social media? I get it now. So even when I go there to tell them about social media, it's like telling them what they've not seen, what they don't know. So you must tell them how it looks. Okay. So then places like that, those are places you go where you are going. You go with the poster and even go out to vote to say this one, you know, see this man went here not many, so that be our own. And this one be our own. You cannot do that on social media. And how to even vote, see how to do it. So what we need to do is to still see how sanity can come where government can say, okay, let's open the polity.
Thank you.
I get it now.
Thank you.
But I know we might not enjoy that. Our children will enjoy the Nigerians of our dream.
Thank
For
you.
the now, there's no hope for the common man and no food on the table.
Well, we should be hopeful. We'll get there eventually. Honorable Napoleon.
Thank you. I agree with him that social media alone cannot do it. Even as we speak, market women that is in the market today, and they are not looking at your social media in the urban area, not to talk of the rural areas. And if you go to rural area, like he said, there are many areas that have no network. Talk less of going to social media or internet. And even those who have the type of answer they even have in those areas, that is not the one that they even used to go for internet or Facebook or whatever. Or the only one they have is just to receive call and send out their messages. So therefore, I think the best way that one can reach the voter properly is engaging face-to-face with them and probably going with a van that can always talk to them even if you are not there.
Now maybe until you get to hear ban on noise pollution. Exactly. Anyway, that will be another thing. Well, for you now, briefly, Solomon.
Social media, he has said it all. Social media cannot do all the job. So there needs to be poster, these jingles, handbills and all that, to sell to the people, to sell to the market, people in the Obiogi, people in the Bele, people in the Opoji. So you can go to the grassroots and communicate with these people. Look at this party. This party is having this logo, maybe Papa, and this party is having this logo X. So you can directly engage with people, face me and face you, and tell them this is the party you are going to vote for. So social media cannot do those jobs. Those old women in those nooks and crannies, they are not on social media. In fact, they don't even have smartphone, not to talk about social media. So it is those posters that we tell the people this is the party that you will vote for.
All right, thank you so much, Solomon. Honorable Napoleon, thank you. Comrade Obaraye, I really appreciate you. Well, you've heard them, your foot soldiers, what are they doing? Door-to-door campaign. INEC, they've stipulated their own rules and regulations, but from what they agreed to, In love and war, nobody plays fair. Just have it at the back of your mind. Nobody plays fair. Everybody wants to win. All right? But I take it to do all that normal election claim. Nobody wants to lose. So what are your foot soldiers doing? Door-to-door campaign. And I can show you that ITV, we don't take side. We don't have side. You can come to us. Definitely. We'll air your jingle, air your commercials. Just come. We don't discriminate. So let's just let it know. All right? You need to know that we do not discriminate. Just come. We talk. Definitely. You get to see your jingle being aired on the radio, seen over the TV. Just name it. Come. All right? If you have the fear that, okay, maybe state-owned or no state-owned, just come. We are very, very fine. Of course, for the state-owned media outfit, I know that because of this rule by INEC, they will be fair also. They will be fair, but they are having doubt in the studio. But just give them a shot. You never can tell. You never can tell. Anything can happen. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate the wonderful analysis.